Inside the Tower of Wisdom, two guards stand alert, but Ain and Christina swiftly incapacitate them without breaking a sweat. Christina remarks that Ain didn't need to expose himself, but Ain insists it was unavoidable with a guard directly in front of him. Expressing relief at the successful infiltration, Christina jokes about the cramped conditions of the wooden box they used for sneaking in, and Ain playfully agrees. As they descend into the tower's underground, they prepare to execute Kadima's plan. According to her strategy, the Tower of Wisdom generates energy through two main steps: stirring the liquefied magic stone to produce magic power and converting that power into energy using a turbine. The goal is to overheat the turbine, disrupting the tower's energy production. As Ain stands at the center, he conjures water magic, creating a whirlpool effect around them. Christina, surprised, questions if it's the sea dragon's power at work. Ain, focusing on generating a strong current, aims to trigger the turbine to swing. He confidently mentions he can exceed the turbine's processing capacity, but suddenly they witness the water freezing, leaving the rest in ice, indicating an overheating issue. Undeterred, Ain takes the lead, heading to the top to search and rescue the kidnapped children while security is occupied with the magical mishap. Racing up numerous stairs, they finally reach the top floor, greeted by a massive magic door. Recognizing it as the right place, Christina prepares herself and strikes the magic door, creating a hole for them to enter. As they enter, they are confronted with hybrid experiments, monsters abnormally enhanced in some way. Exploring further, they find another door at the back, leading to a room filled with desires and fantasies. Surprisingly, they discover a group of captured individuals. Ain wisely lets Christina handle the situation, considering it inappropriate for a guy to approach them. While Christina deals with the captives, Ain notices a book on the table. As he reads through it, his suspicions about the income, expenses, and reports of the captured children are confirmed. He realizes that they stopped capturing male individuals midway and started focusing on females. Anger wells up inside Ain as he labels them as scum for their despicable actions. Christina ensures Ain that the captives are safe and now dressed in lab coats. Suddenly, a young girl approaches Ain, eager to see her sister Verla. Ain confirms that the girl is Mei and assures her that she'll be reunited with her sister soon. However, chaos ensues as the monsters in glass containers break free. 3 large monsters prepare to attack, but before they can strike, an unexpected savior intervenes. Ain faces the unknown person, who reveals himself as Seiji. He denies involvement in the kidnappings, claiming he merely placed the captives under his care. He accuses Ain of committing a crime by infiltrating a noble's lab and orders the monsters to eliminate them. To Seiji's horror, Ain and Christina effortlessly defeat the monsters in an instant. Seiji, shocked and unaware of their capabilities, commands his bodyguards to attack. However, they hesitate, witnessing the swift and precise strikes that effortlessly cut down their bladed swords. Christina admonishes Seiji for pointing a sword at someone without knowing the full story. Ain suggests executing Seiji, but Christina insists there are unanswered questions. Suddenly, Seiji pretends to give up, but he releases a poisonous gas, affecting everyone, even his bodyguards. Realizing the danger, tells Christina to hold on. He activates his decompose skill to neutralize the toxin. However, Seiji's escape plan takes an unexpected turn as a large dragon emerges to his rescue. As Seiji hops onto the dragon and they retreat into the sky, leaving Ain and Christina amid unanswered questions. The next day, in a rush to catch the train, Christina and Ain barely make it as Kadima loudly warns them about the imminent departure. They manage to board just in time, and Kadima remarks on the close call and apologizes, explaining the urgency of instructing the Istanites to prioritize the search for Seiji. Kadima emphasizes the importance of an order from the Crown Prince. Ain, expressing his desire to handle the problem personally, inquires about Verla and Mei's whereabouts. Dill informs him that they are enjoying a meal in another train. Ain appreciates the efforts of Kadima and Dill, ensuring the kidnapped children will now be cared for in a capital orphanage. He contemplates hiring Verla and Mei as maidservants. Recalling a document from Professor Oz about the Red Fox monsterization and one of its magic stones, Ain ponders the seal's security. Christina assures Kadima that the professor provided a sealed box and to avoid any mishaps, Christina plans to keep it in her room. Relieved, Kadima agrees that it should be fine. In his room, Ain listens to a message from Klon, expecting casual news, but is caught off guard as Klon passionately confesses her loneliness and yearning for his company. Stunned by this heartfelt revelation, Ain is at a loss for words. Before he can respond, the peace is shattered as his window breaks and a gust of wind enters. As the train grinds to a halt, Christina and Dill rush to Ain's room. Looking outside, they discover Seiji's wyvern obstructing the path. Ain senses the panic among the passengers and decides to take action. Christina volunteers to handle the situation, but Ain declines, proposing they work together to ensure everyone's safety and defeat Seiji and the wyvern. Ain warns Dill to take Verla and Mei to Kadima for protection. Standing atop the train, Ain prepares to face the wyvern with Christina. They note the wyvern's increased size and strength. Ain wishes the wyvern still carried the scars from their previous encounter in the Colosseum. As Christina strikes the wyvern, they discover its tough skin and rapid regeneration, posing an unexpected challenge. Christina briefs Ain on the strategy, emphasizing the need to target the wyvern's vital point, the magic stone. Ain quickly formulates a plan. He creates a thick fog to distract the wyvern, allowing him to move in with his Black Knight skill. However, the wyvern proves more formidable than expected, surprising Ain, who recalls facing even stronger opponents. Undeterred, Ain manages to suppress the wyvern with his Black Knight skill. Seizing the opportunity, he informs Christina that the magic stone is on the wyvern's forehead. Taking a leap, Christina delivers a powerful strike to the wyvern's forehead, ultimately defeating the formidable creature. The duo's coordination and strategy prevail in the face of the powerful wyvern. However, their joy is short-lived as another problem arises. The Kraken, the massive sea creature, clings to the train, threatening to crush it and the bridge. Unexpectedly, two sea dragons, El and Al, arrive on the scene and engage in a battle with the Kraken. Ain is surprised and delighted to see the baby sea dragons, sensing a familiar energy. When Ain asks if they came to rescue him, the sea dragons nonchalantly munch on the Kraken meat. Christina reveals that Kraken is their favorite meal, disappointing Ain, who thought they came for a heroic rescue, only to find out they were just there for a seafood feast. Despite the comedic turn of events, Ain is relieved that the plan was successful, thanks to the unexpected help from the baby sea dragons. He reflects on Klon's words, realizing that the sea dragons indeed came to their aid in a time of need, even if it was just for the love of Kraken seafood. In Seiji's frustrated perspective, he can't believe he lost the battle. Drowning in mental frustration, he suddenly stumbles. Footsteps approach him, and from the shadows, Ain reveals that he will take Seiji to the capital to face jail time. Seiji, in disbelief, dismisses Ain's authority, thinking they have no power to punish a noble viscount. Ain steps out of the shadows, closing in on Seiji, questioning once again if he believes they lack the power to punish him. Seiji, now realizing he's facing the crown prince, widens his eyes in shock. Ain confirms that Seiji, as a noble, should recognize the crown prince's face. Ain explains that Seiji has committed multiple crimes and he'll have to confess everything in the capital. Before proceeding, Ain wants to know why Seiji engaged in kidnapping. Seiji, wearing a disgraceful expression, admits that it was due to someone else's wish, and he did it in exchange for a reward. Overwhelmed, Seiji makes a horrid expression and trembles, losing consciousness. Ain, bewildered and disappointed by the sudden turn of events, questions if Seiji is dead. Feeling a mix of guilt and frustration, he vents his emotions in a sudden outburst. Returning to his room, Ain recalls Dill's advice to rest until the railroad line is repaired. But unable to sit idly, he heads to the train's bar. To his surprise, he finds Christina there, sipping champagne. Curious about her fancy outfit, Ain playfully asks about the occasion. Christina, flustered, admits it's the only clean dress she has left. Ain compliments her, reassuring her not to be embarrassed, and Christina, with a blush, appreciates the kind words. As they share drinks, Ain expresses his unease about the outcome of the mission, a sentiment shared by Christina. Both feeling restless, they continue to grapple with the aftermath. In the aftermath of Seiji's revelation that he acted based on someone else's wish, Ain contemplates the presence of a mastermind orchestrating the incidents. Christina, with her usual wit, likens their effective removal of this mastermind to the shedding of a lizard's tail, efficient, and leaving no room for retribution, and speculates that the elusive red fox might be the puppet master, possessing the uncanny ability to enhance and manipulate monsters. This, in turn, raises suspicions about its potential involvement in the Demon Lord's destructive rampage, as the monsters under Seiji's control exhibited similar energy patterns. Looking ahead, Ain declares his intention to divert his focus to investigating the Red Fox once he successfully resolves the ongoing issues with his own body. Delving into the documents Professor Oz provided, Ain highlights a fascinating insight. The evolution of monsters doesn't entail a loss of consciousness from their pre-evolution state. This revelation sparks a question from Christina. Would undergoing monsterization allow someone to retain their essence? Ain responds, suggesting that treating monsterization akin to evolution might indeed preserve one's identity. Relieved by this revelation, Christina expresses gratitude towards Professor Oz for his invaluable information. Ain further extols the professor's character, praising his commitment to orphans, the city, and his own interests. Ane reflects on how fortunate he is to have encountered such a person during his time in Isto. Christina, ever perceptive, acknowledges Ain's personal growth during their journey, drawing a parallel between him and the revered first king. Ain, touched and slightly embarrassed by this comparison, realizes the impact of their shared experiences. To mark this moment of reflection and newfound understanding, Christina proposes a toast. Glasses clink in celebration as they agree to embark on yet another adventure together. Their smiles encapsulate the camaraderie forged through challenges, signaling the beginning of a renewed chapter in their journey. In the heart of Isto, the peculiar professor found himself reflecting on what he considered a rather splendid day. With a hint of humor, he pondered the audacity of a man who dared to borrow his power, only to act imprudently. The professor felt a certain natural justice in the idea that such behavior deserved punishment. The day's triumph, however, extended beyond severing ties with the troublesome borrower. Gleefully, the professor celebrated his freedom from what he cheekily referred to as a dirty vixen magic stone. His thoughts then turned to the crown prince, whom he admired for his dignified and beautiful demeanor, affectionately calling the crystal he communicated with father. In an odd turn of events, the professor decided to engage in an unconventional act, licking the crystal. He expressed excitement about the prospect of confronting the mentioned vixen, relishing the anticipation of the experience. The crown prince, too, became a subject of the professor's musings, with a desire to witness any potentially distorted expressions, albeit with a recognition that directing twisted ideas toward him would be blasphemous. Amidst these whimsical contemplations, a knock on the professor's door interrupted his thoughts. A guard informed him that the knights were seeking his insights on matters related to the Tower of Wisdom case, and deterred by the interruption, the professor agreed to visit their office the next day. With a nonchalant wave, the guard excused himself, leaving the professor to his eccentric reflections and the promise of more intrigue in the days to come. As Ain approaches the site of the bridge, memories flood back since the incident on the water train half a year ago. Now 11 years old and the beginning of spring, he's here for the reopening ceremony of the bridge destroyed by Viscount Seiji's monsters. Christina expresses surprise at the smooth proceedings, and Ain credits the efficiency to his talented aide. Klon, with a playful chuckle, takes the tease in stride. Having graduated from Libe Girls College, Klon made history by becoming the youngest person to pass the civil servant's winter recruitment test, with a perfect score securing her role as the Crown Prince's aide. Ain, curious, asks if the carriage is on loan from the August Company, praising its comfort. Klon reveals it's the newest model, obtained after a consultation and negotiation with Oji, emphasizing the need to avoid wasting funds to maintain Ain's reputation. As they approach the capital, Klon helps Ain put on his coat, a sweet and heartfelt sight. With the bridge fully restored, Ain takes the opportunity to declare the restoration among the citizens, and the atmosphere turns festive as the capital awaits their arrival. The blend of memories, accomplishments, and the anticipation of a new beginning marks a lively and heartwarming celebration. Ain let out a disappointed sigh, catching the attention of his friends who quickly asked what was bothering him or if he felt unwell. Ain explained his dismay about the castle visit coinciding with the first Go event in 5 years, feeling like a group home visit rather than an exciting adventure. His friends, however, found the idea intriguing, never having been inside the royal castle. Dill, stepping in as the self-appointed guide, thanked Aine's friends for their patience and laid down a crucial rule. Inside the castle, Aine would be addressed as Your Highness. Everyone readily agreed, and the tour began. As they explored, they encountered swords, armor, and statues, observed guards' post-training battles, and finally, they enjoyed lunch. Bats, one of Aine's friends, felt the grace of the knights, and while everyone else seemed impressed, Leonardo attributed it to Aine's strength, but Bats was determined not to lose, pledging to work even harder. Upon their return, Aine treated his friends to more food, but the gathering was interrupted by Marsh. She informed Aine about an afternoon appointment, expressing hesitation to leave without finishing his second round of meals. March promised to bring the food to Aine's room later, bidding farewell to his classmates as she had another engagement to attend. On their way to a meeting, Aine and March unexpectedly crossed paths with May, now working as a maid in the royal castle. May greeted Aine, identifying him as His Highness, revealing that Marche was supervising her and assigned her to work in the cafeteria. Aine praised March's clever strategy, intrigued by the placements. Curiosity piqued, Aine inquired about Verla's whereabouts. Marche shared that Verla was diligently working in a treatment facility near the training camp, earning a commendable reputation among the knights. Aine, thrilled to hear about their hard work, felt motivated to match their dedication. And in the subsequent meeting with Warren and Clon, the focus shifted to official business concerning the adventurers' town Baltic. The inspection aimed to investigate the Red Fox and monsterization. Viscount Seajai's frequent visits to Baltic in past years suggested a connection to the Red Fox, a theory shared by Kadima and Warren. Aine learned that Professor Oz advised relying on Baltic's adventurers for simultaneous investigations into the old Demon Lord's territory. Warren explained that uncovering information about the Red Fox or any ancient knowledge would constitute a successful investigation. Aine, curious about the Demon Lord's territory, discovered that Lloyd would accompany him, bringing relief. He inquired about Clon's participation, and she, tired of waiting, decided to become Aine's aide. When Aine asked about Christina, it was revealed that she would stay behind in the capital. Later on, we find ourselves in the company of Aine and Christina. Christina, with a melancholic tone, expresses her regret at not being able to join them on their upcoming adventure. Aine, ever the reassuring figure, reminds her that she plays a crucial role in safeguarding the capital. Moved by his words, Christina, with teary eyes, pledges to protect the capital in Aine's absence. Aine, oblivious to Christina's hidden feelings, feels a sense of relief and affectionately pats her head. Meanwhile, in a wintry landscape, a valiant knight seeks formidable opponents to challenge. His quest leads him to confront a massive monster. With a swift and powerful strike, the knight effortlessly cleaves through the creature, leaving it severed on the snowy ground. Undeterred, the knight declares his unwavering commitment to wait, no matter how long it takes, for the return of an unknown master. As Aine bids his fond farewells to the citizens, he finds himself on the water train, joined by his loyal aide, Clon. She proves to be quite attentive, perhaps a tad bit pampering, but Aine doesn't seem to mind the extra care. Curious about the whereabouts of Dill and Lloyd, Aine learns that they are stationed in the front car, dividing the knights to guard both ends of the train. Aine, with a realization, notes that this arrangement leaves him and Clon alone in the center. Clon, ever playful, makes a cheeky remark about not needing anyone else with them, and Aine, with a chuckle, wholeheartedly agrees. As they journeyed towards Baltic, a curious sight captured Aine's attention, a bird with not 2 but 4 wings. Aine couldn't help but find it intriguing. Clon, however, took a moment to remind Aine to enjoy himself but not to venture into recklessness once they reached Baltic. She listed off a few past exploits, from charging into explosions during a terrorist incident to challenging sea dragons solo. And Aine, well aware of his adventurous tendencies, agreed with a chuckle. Clon, insightful as ever, sensed Aine's excitement. It stemmed from the tales of the first king's exploration of the old Demon Lord territory, a figure Aine greatly admired. Intrigued herself, Clon expressed her interest in this mysterious land. The historical records were shrouded in uncertainty. Did the Demon Lord attack after the country's founding? Or did the country emerge victorious and claim the Demon Lord's territory? The opinions of historical researchers remained divided, adding an air of mystery to the old demon lord's domain. As Klon delved into the fascinating history of the royal lineage, she stumbled upon an intriguing revelation. The children born to each royal generation were a diverse mix of races, thanks to a mysterious system known as gacha. Klon, unfamiliar with the term, couldn't help but wonder if it involved some sort of cheese-making process, not realizing it referred to a system exclusive to royals. She speculated that perhaps the royalty mingled with beings in the demon lord's territory, emphasizing the importance that these races and monsters weren't harmful to humans. Klon raised a question about the queen's race, revealing that she was a pixie, a type of fairy. Contemplating the possibilities of the royalty gacha system and the potential races his children might belong to, wore a nervous expression. Klon noticed Ain's unease and inquired about his well-being. Ain assured her that he was merely pondering his future. He praised Klon for her intelligence and extensive knowledge, acknowledging her role in managing schedules, supplies, and official business. Klon, undeterred by the challenges of her responsibilities, expressed her genuine desire to continue her work, emphasizing that she found it fulfilling. The train abruptly grinds to a halt, and Dial, with his usual calm demeanor, announces that they've paused the journey due to a sudden earthquake. Ain nods in agreement, understanding the need to investigate the cause before proceeding. Klon, sensing something odd, expresses her hope that nothing too troublesome is afoot. Upon arriving in Baltic, Ain, feeling the chill in the air, comments on the cold temperature. Perplexed by the new surroundings, he questions whether they are still on the same continent. Dial, updating his father on their journey, mentions a small hiccup but assures that they safely reach Baltic. The question of what to call Dill's father arises, and Lloyd, quick on his feet, suggests addressing him as Lloyd first, then Marshall. Ain, ever the easygoing prince, dismisses the formalities and encourages everyone to act as usual. As they venture into the town, Klon, curious about Ain's recognition among the citizens, learns from Lloyd that Ain enjoys high esteem in Baltic. The reason? Ain's solo victory over the sea dragon. However, due to the local population rarely reading reports, they are blissfully unaware of the current situation, adding a comedic touch to the unfolding events in Baltic. Lloyd, ever the knowledgeable guide, points out a colossal skeleton head, regaling Ain with the tale of an ogre that once terrorized a human village, only to be vanquished by the first king. The ogre's immense strength had left scars on the land, similar to the sea dragon's defeat by Ain. Dill cheekily notes the uncanny resemblance, leaving Ain in amused surprise and Lloyd chuckling at the comparison. As they settle into an inn, they enjoy the view from the balcony, gazing at the stars near the Demon Lord's castle, feeling the chilly breeze. Ain covers Klon with his coat before deciding to retire for the night. The next morning brings a meeting with Rizel, entrusted by the king to manage Baltic territory. Despite Ain's fondness for the town's atmosphere, he plans to visit a blacksmith. Rizel encourages this plan and offers an introduction letter to a recommended blacksmith. In a surprising twist, Rizel expresses gratitude for Ain taking care of his brother. Ain, intrigued, learns that Rizel's brother is none other than his sword instructor, Kaiser Baltic. As Ain plans to investigate the old Demon Lord's territory, Rizel presents a helpful updated map. Expressing thanks, Ain receives another surprise. A letter from Professor Oz. The professor, who recently visited Baltic, lamented not meeting the Crown Prince. The letter suggests Ain personally visit the old Demon Lord's territory, hinting at potential discoveries. Ain contemplates the journey, sensing a connection between the territory and the entities within him, Dullahan and the Elder Lich. As Lloyd shares his perspective, he notes the challenges posed by the signs of a formidable monster, catching Ain's curiosity. Inquisitive, Ain seeks more information, learning that this monster has been around since the founding of the country. It's a creature of immense power comparable to the sea dragon, having faced off against the first king and managed to survive, lurking in the old demon lord's territory throughout the years. Suddenly, a thunderous roar reverberates, prompting Lloyd to investigate. To their astonishment, they come face to face with the legendary beast, the ice dragon. As the knights gear up to face the ice dragon, Ain, with his strategic mind, devises a plan to investigate the old demon lord's territory. Carrying 10 magic cannons, the group prepares to confront the legendary beast. Count Razel expresses surprise and concern about the crown prince taking on such a formidable foe. However, Aloyd, bound by the royal decree, reluctantly follows Aine's orders, unable to contact the capital. Acknowledging the urgency of the situation, Aine urges Count Razel to collaborate with the adventurers in safeguarding the town. Meanwhile, in a candid conversation with Clon, she vents her recent dislike for the first prince, citing the mess Aine has to clean up, reflecting on the ice dragon's survival against the first king. Clon wishes the legendary beast had been defeated back then. The mood, Aine, in a moment of whimsy, wonders aloud about the taste of the ice dragon's magic stone. Clon, taken aback, warns against such thoughts, but Aine, with a mischievous wink, assures her of victory. Clon, with a playful smile, jests that the magic stone might taste like chicken, leading to Aine bursting into laughter, imagining the mighty ice dragon as nothing more than a colossal chicken. Just with everything set, Aine bids farewell to Clon and heads off with his trusty bodyguard Dill. Marching through the snowy landscape, Aine found the snow uneasy to navigate, prompting a jest from Lloyd about adding a snowfield for extra train upon their return. In a more serious tone, Lloyd sought confirmation from Aine about keeping their promise. If the ice dragon wasn't targeting him, he'd return to town. Aine, though skeptical, agreed, noting the peculiar incidents upon his arrival and the destruction of the water train rail tracks as potential signs that the dragon was indeed after him. As amidst their journey, they encountered a lamprey rabbit, known for its delicious meat but challenging to catch due to its speed. The ground suddenly shook, alarming Lloyd, who urged everyone to run. To their surprise, the ice dragon emerged with a thunderous roar, disorienting them. Aine observed the dragon's past injuries from its battle against the first king and realized the stakes of the impending confrontation. As they fled, Dill fell behind and faced the iced dragon alone. Lloyd, Dill's father, intervened, deflecting the dragon's strike with his sword and instructing his son to run. Lloyd engaged the ice dragon in a one-on-one battle, but to his shock, his sword shattered upon striking the beast. Aine, taking charge, directed the magic cannons to fire and employed a unique skill to further weaken the ice dragon. Lloyd struggles with another round of ballistic strikes, rendering the dragon unconscious. Celebrations ensued, but a cautious check revealed the freezing lake, indicating that the ice dragon was still alive. Back in the capital, Christina felt left out as Aine embarked on his adventure. Marche, noticing her restless behavior, ordered her to feed the baby sea dragons to keep her occupied. Christina, unaware of her apparent boredom, followed March's instructions. Marche, catching wind of a rumored crush Christina had on the crown prince, observed her constant visits to places Aine frequented. As Christina fed the sea dragons, she couldn't shake off her concerns for Aine's safety during the battle with the ice dragon. To her surprise, the baby sea dragons cheered her up with a peck on the cheek, lifting her spirits. Despite the danger, Christina hoped to join Aine on the next adventure and eagerly awaited his return. In the midst of the battle against the ice dragon, it unleashed a powerful roar and utilized a special skill, putting the knights in a challenging position. The magic cannons, their primary weapon, had frozen up and time was running out. Lloyd took charge, rallying everyone to protect Aine and attack the ice dragon. Aine, determined to assist, intensified the power of his unique Black Knight skill, launching 6 black arms to stabilize the ice dragon. Though it seemed ineffective, Aine brainstormed a crucial idea, using the skull with the horn, a potential game-changer in defeating the dragon. In a last-ditch effort to survive and defeat the monsters, Aine entrusts a crucial task to Dill, a job only he can handle. Aine requests that if the time comes, Dill should carry him. Dill, somewhat puzzled by the choice, agrees to support Aine, even if he doesn't fully understand why he's the chosen one. Aine explains that with Dill's support, he can unleash his powers to the fullest. With the ice dragon in pursuit, Aine leads the monster away from the knights, luring it back to town. In a desperate move, Aine heads towards the skull, setting up a trap with thick fog to obscure the dragon's vision, teasing the dragon and taunting its location. Aine waits for the perfect moment to activate the trap. The skull's jaw bites down on the dragon, piercing its flesh. Standing triumphantly on the skull, the ice dragon recalls the first king's battle with a similar aura to Aine. Hoping to finish off the monster, he rips out the horn from the skull with his Black Knight arms and launches it onto the dragon's forehead, declaring it an instant win. To Aine's surprise, the dragon still moves, revealing a massive life force. Realizing the magic stone is the key, Ain decides to end it for good. He absorbs the magic stone, tasting success. Excited to share the experience with Klon, Ain suddenly loses consciousness. Dill catches him and assures Ain to rest well. The other knights, along with Lloyd, head back to assess the situation.